The last thing I remember was the taste of dirt. This is the story of how a small town died. Now, all that's left are the tall tales told by the remaining few, stories of an old cemetery on the outskirts of town where the spirits of the dead roamed. Most people believed it was just a legend, but I wasn't so sure. I was only 16 when I decided to look into it, along with 3 of my best friends. We didn't find any graves, but we did find something buried beneath the dirt, an old wooden box. Inside was a leather-bound book filled with strange symbols and a single silver key. We joked about what we should do with it, but no one wanted to touch it. So we left it in the back of my truck. That was a huge mistake because when we went back to the cemetery the next day, the box and the book were gone. And that's when the nightmares began. Every night I would wake up screaming, and my dreams were filled with this dark, soulless woman who seemed to be reaching out to me from beyond the grave. My friends had similar nightmares, except their darkest fears took shape in their dreams. There was the creature that haunted my friend Sarah's dreams, the drowned girl that reached for my friend Tom, and the burning building that trapped my friend Alex. We tried to tell each other that it was just a coincidence, that our fears had manifested in our dreams, but we all knew there was something else at play here. We couldn't have been more wrong. As it turned out, the entity that had been awakened was feeding on our fears, using the key to unlock the darkest parts of our minds. It showed us our greatest regrets, our deepest traumas, and our darkest secrets. It was tormenting us with visions of everything we feared most. But there was one thing it didn't know. One of us was hiding a secret that was far more powerful than anything it could have imagined. A secret that would ultimately lead to its demise. You see, I was adopted, and the only connection I had to my biological family was a faded photograph and a name, Emily Carter. And as I began digging through the town's archives, I found something that made my blood run cold. The last Carter buried in the old cemetery was a girl named Emily, and the date on the gravestone matched the date on the photo. It was the same Emily. And as I stood there staring at the grave, I felt a presence behind me. I turned around, and there she was, the girl from my dreams, the drowned girl from Tom's dreams, and the burned girl from Alex's dreams. They were all here, and they were all reaching out to me, begging me to help them. I knew then that the only way to banish the darkness that had consumed our town was to confront my past and uncover the truth about Emily Carter. But to do that, I would have to face my greatest fear. The fear that had been haunting me since I was 5 years old. The fear that had kept me from ever fitting in. The fear of water.